Welcome back to Squelch, the video game book club. I'm Dano.
And I'm Storm Rage, and we're here to remind you the Dragon Age Inquisition is a game, and the games are supposed to be fun, and it's extra fun when it's only Dan's. And that's what we've got this week, just Dano and myself having a good old Only Dan's time.
It's been a minute since we've had an Only Dan's episode.
I was thinking the same thing.
Like, probably a year at least. Maybe a little bit more even.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like when maybe we had one with Life is Strange. Maybe we had one with Mass Effect, but I don't think it was ever just you and I for Dragon Age Inquisition.
No.
Or sorry, Dragon Age Origins or Dragon Age 2.
Nope.
So I think at the very least it had to be before that.
Yeah, that's fun. Hey, love an Only Dan's episode.
It's good to be back.
Yeah,
it's good to be back.
It's always good times. So this week it's moving day. We are moving into our new home, and we're also getting to know our roommates a little bit better. So it's gonna be it's a heavy companion day. So buckle up. We're gonna get to know our friends really, really well, which so that happens with roommates. You move in, get to know them a little bit, and then you go find your second place together, and that's when you get really close. That's what's going on today. So we're playing through the quest In Your Heart Shall Burn, getting started with that. Then we're gonna go chat with all our friends. They've all got cutscenes. We're gonna take care of that. Then we're gonna talk about the quests. Welcome to Skyhold, Inquisition Trappings, Sit in Judgement, training for the Inquisitor, and acquire the Arcanist. Those are pretty minor. And then we're going to talk about our specializations a little bit and kind of what we think about that and what we decided to do. Next week, we are going to Crestwood. So this is a story quest. We are going to go take care of that. Hawk is waiting for us, so we're going to go to Crestwood and do the things. We need 30 power for the next main story quest. So we could probably pick most of that up in Crestwood. Crestwood's a ton of fun, really interesting story. Should be able to pick up about 15 to 20 power in Crestwood. So you should be able to get most of what you need there. It's a fun region with a lot of flavor and interesting stories, and like jumps right off. Like you enter the zone and it's like, boom, here we go. It's great. Mm-hmm. So.
And to be clear, so we're playing through Crestwood. We're getting to 30 power, and then we are not progressing to the next checkpoint that requires us to have 30 power. So there's not a lot of specifics for next week other than go to Crestwood, and there's a main story quest there. And then after that, it's kind of just do whatever you want to get to 30 power. That's
it. Yeah, you don't have to do much of Crestwood if you don't want to. You could do whatever you want out of there. I like that zone quite a bit. It's I think one of the more fun ones, so I would encourage a lot of it. But if you want to just go to Crestwood to the story quest, you can just do that as well. So that'll be fine. All right, so quick hot tip thing. So last week we spoke briefly about Blackwall and his approval, and there was a little bit of us being confused about how that exactly works. So I thought
real quick, Dano, I feel like we need a drop or a bumper to do a hot tip instead of just going into it, because I feel like we did the preview, but this feels like a different segment. Do you mind if you do a quick intro of and now we're gonna go to our hot tip, and then I'll give you a sound that you're definitely gonna use every other time?
Yes, I do. All right, so now we're gonna go to our hot tip.
Hot tip. Hot dang.
Yeah, okay, I am gonna use that. He's just my notebook wasn't ready here. Somebody's got to make a note of when hot tip, hot dang was. All right, so last week we spoke briefly about Blackwall and his approval rating and how that worked. So I thought I'd break down how approval works in the game. And then also a little bit of how you can make your friends like you if you want to do that. So there is no approval meter like there was in Dragon Age Origins or Dragon Age 2. That was a purposeful choice by the devs. They wanted it to feel more natural. I don't think it works. I just think it means I'm not sure if Dorian likes me or not. That's what I think it ends up being. But you know what? I didn't develop a giant video game, so I don't know. But my opinion is I think it's worse for not having the meter.
I agree.
There is a way to tell if your companions like you. Not Dorian, though. Doesn't work for Dorian. So each companion... I know, right? It's great. I love that. It's so good. Thank you. Dragon Age Inquisition devs. Each companion will greet you differently based on their feelings towards you. So they'll have kind of a more grumpy reaction if they don't like you, a neutral reaction if they could care one way or the other, and then a friendly if they like you quite a bit. I can link to that wiki post if you're curious about that. So you want to know, does SERA like me or not? I can't tell. You can find out by going to wiki post. It says, yes, if she says X, Y, or Z.
I can tell she doesn't like me because I'm an elf.
That's kind of funny. So each companion starts at 0 and then gains positive or negative modifiers based on the decisions you make. Slight approvals or slight disapprovals gives you plus or minus 1. Approvals give you, or disapprovals give you plus or minus 5. And then great approvals or great disapprovals give you plus or minus 20. So the greats are big. And then it's like a minus 100 to plus 100 situation. So like they're super friends when they're over 75, but you'll get like friendly overtones a lot of times at 35. That'll be like a breaking point to get certain things. So yeah, just so if like the great approves are the ones you're really shooting for, and then a slight disapproval here and there really isn't going to hurt anything. You're going to get that with a lot of them where you're going to make a decision and be like, I don't like that. It's only minus 1 and isn't going to hurt you too much.
So what are the benefits of approval or disapproval? Because in Dragon Age 2, you had the rival or friend mechanic, which A, got you specific abilities that would unlock for each character. B, would also determine, as we learned from Matt, whether or not characters would stay with you. And that same was true in Dragon Age Origins. If certain characters were at a certain high enough approval of you, then they would stay with you. You would also romance them. Sometimes we've unlocked abilities. So, like, what is the benefit of maintaining a relationship with your companions? Because I'm also thinking about it like for Mass Effect. Mass Effect, I just go do a thing for them, and they're super good friends with me, and I don't need to worry about ever bringing them on a mission. So, like, what is the benefit here?
So a lot of it is flavor. Actually, like, it's not going to really benefit a lot. There are party members. Based on what you do, you could lose certain party members. I would say It's much more like Dragon Age Origins, though, where you have to really kind of choose to make a decision that they're not going to like, and it's only a couple companions that you could lose. SERA, you can kick out at any point if you want to and be like, I don't think you belong here. And she'll be like, oh, and then she's gone. Cole is one too, where you can like choose within like the early game with Cole to be like, oh, you're an evil spirit, leave, and then he will. But
I'm not gonna kick Cole out.
I know.
Cole's the best.
Cole is great. I
am right now debating whether or not I want to kick SERA out, and the answer is still probably no. But like, it is a consideration.
Yeah, you had to have been impressed that I called that one though, right? I mean,
yeah. Right before we started recording, I was like, one of these characters I don't like, and Dan was like, it's SERA, and then hit the bumper in the coolest format that he possibly could have.
There will also be certain like events you'll hit based on positive modifiers. So like if someone doesn't like you, they might not like, you won't have certain companion quests that will pop up. Whereas if they do, then that will. So like the more you like a companion likes you, the more likely you'll have like things to do with them. I believe you can still do certain quests though, regardless of relationship. So it's not like everything is locked out. So you'll still be able to do a lot of the companion quests without it. But so for the most part, it's a lot of flavor. There is a link of like who to bring where. It's like a codex or a forum post on the Dragon Age wiki. I'll link that as well. And that's just really helpful. It's like, who should I bring to Crestwood? And they'll be like, hey, bring Cole, bring Cassandra, and bring Solus, because Cole has a lot to say in these certain parts. Cassandra is good about this, and Solus is good for that. So it kind of like
Is that actually the 3 that they suggest on that one?
yeah, it is.
Great,
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, I've never actually done a lot of adventuring with Cole. I've done a little bit, but he's a lot of fun.
I like that weird little guy so much.
I know. My problem with him in the past has been I've always had him be daggers, and the AI for dagger NPCs is terrible in this game. So I just made him a bow rogue this time. So there's 4 of us that use bows. We can have an only bows party if I want.
Extremely good.
And I'm using much more. He's just a lot of fun. Him and Solus, it gets real weird real quick. All right, so we'll kick it off with Blackwall. There's a couple of ways to make Blackwall kind of your friend. So Blackwall will slightly approve for each Darkspawn you kill with Blackwall in the party, or Darkspawn party. So when if you run across a party of Darkspawn and Blackwall's there and you kill them, he's like, yeah, I slightly approve. Here's a point.
And that's different than the things that come out of the rifts, right?
Those are demons. Yep.
Okay, because I don't think I've come across any Darkspawn yet.
So you'll run into start running into Darkspawn in
Crestwood?
the wastes on the western part of the map. There's a bunch of Darkspawn there. There will also be some Darkspawn that pop up in the Storm Coast as well. Some Darkspawn pop up there.
Okay.
Yep. So he slightly approves for that. The Memories of the Gray Artifact quest. If he is in your he will greatly approve of each one you pick up. So that's an easy way to max out Blackwall real quick because there's like 6 of those, I think. So if you just plus 20 each of those, 8, you just max out Blackwall. It's real easy. Just bring him along, pick up the thing, and then he's your best bud forever.
Important note, you can't pick up all of them when you get the quest unless you have the Deft Hands Inquisition buff, because one of them is locked in a room that you cannot access without it. I was real bummed about it because I went to the spot, I got the thing, and then it was like, you need a rogue. And I was like, okay. So then I went back, I changed parties, I came back, I had a rogue, and then it was like, need the Deft Hands buff. And I was like, this sucks.
So the Deft Hands thing, so that for all of those little Inquisition perks, it'll be like, hey, you need 5 Inquisition perks to get this. And that will seem like a lot because I think you can only have like 20 levels in Inquisition actually max. Now the way that you kind of work around that is each of your agents for that specific advisor count as a point. So let's say you have 1 point in history knowledge and then 3 agents for Josephine, that counts as 4 points in that thing for Inquisition perk reasons. So if you need 5 for something, you just need 4 agents and then 1 point in it, and then you unlock those things. So that's kind of how that works. It seems like, I will never get the 5 things I need for this. That's impossible. I'll be level 20 before that happens. Actually, it's just kind of agents is how you kind of get around all that. So when you recruit agents, it helps you level up your Inquisition perks more quickly.
Is there an easy way to tell how many agents you currently have?
In the Inquisition perk menu, yeah. If you scroll to the bottom of each thing, it will show you what agents you have in each area.
Excellent.
Yes.
You may continue on. I'm doing nothing. Don't worry about it.
All right, Cassandra. Cassandra's easy. Cassandra will greatly approve if you bring her along during her companion quest, Unfinished Business. If she is not in the party, she will simply approve. Cole is a tough one. Cole generally appreciates you helping people who are hurting and freeing prisoners. He does not like it very much if you sentence people to prison. Cole likes you to be a nice guy, which I think is great. I like Cole because he's awesome.
I like Cole so much. He's just like, people are hurting, and it'd be nicer if people didn't hurt. It's like, yeah, Cole, I agree.
Yeah, what's crazy about Cole is you start with Cole. We'll talk about this in a little bit, actually. We'll get into that later. Cole doesn't need to be in your party for gaining or losing approval from any side quest that comes up. That's something you need to worry about. So for Cole, pretty much it's going to be like you just talking to people with him in the party, and then him liking how you're talking or the things that you're doing, is kind of how you will gain approval for Cole. Dorian, during the quest One Less Venatori, Dorian will greatly approve regardless of being in the party or not. So One Less Venatori is a quest that will come up for Dorian. I think there are 3 Venatori. He's like, hey, I knew these guys and they're no good. You should go murder them. And we're like, cool, will do. And he's like, thanks. I'll like you a bunch afterwards. Iron Bull, this is my favorite one. So after the first high dragon you kill with Iron Bull in the party, he greatly approves. He greatly approves so much that when you go back to him at the bar, he will like sit and like feed you drinks until you pass out and tell you about the Canary. It's really fun. Highly suggest.
Man, Iron Bull's such a fun character because we'll talk about it later. Yeah. But I really like Iron Bull. He's a good little himbo.
Yeah, he is so good. And then every subsequent dragon, high dragons only, you kill with Bull in the party, he will approve of. So that's a nice, fun little thing. Every giant you kill with Iron Bull in the party also gives you some approval. And then each group of Venatori that is killed with Bull while in the party gets slightly approved. So that's just kind of a fun way to kind of take Iron Bull with you. I just take Iron Bull with me because he's awesome. So,
okay, I have good news and I have bad news.
Love it.
I have found how many agents I have, and I have both more and less than I expected.
Oh.
I have 2 in forces, 2 in connections, which seems fine for the amount of side questing I don't do. I have 0 in secrets, though, which means deft hands find tools will take me forever to unlock in my current setup.
I have good news for you, though. There are multiple agents you can get really quick for secrets in the hinterlands.
And go back to the hinterlands?
Including just going to Redcliffe and chatting with someone and being like, hey, you want to join the Inquisition because you're a smuggler? And she's like, yeah, I do. I need a new employer. My old employer stinks. So,
all right, I'll do it.
Is it Deft Hands 5 or is it 3 that you need?
You need 4.
4, okay. Yeah. I think you can get this a lot quicker than you realize you can. So I think it probably take you like half hour, 45 minutes one day. So
that probably true.
SERA is one. Basically it's how the decisions you make while with her in the party and the conversations you have, whether she likes you or dislikes you. Though if you do flirt with Scout Harding while out in the field, she does approve of that. Unless you are a male elf, and then she doesn't like it.
Yeah, she doesn't like elves. She is an elf, and she's an elf hater. I don't know what else to say. Because, like, anytime that you're like, I'm proud to be an elf, she's like, ew, gross. And it's like, what? You don't have to be super stoked about elf culture, but you do have to hate me, I guess? Why?
So you think she helps? You think she hates Buddy the elf from the movie, who's super into elf culture? Okay, sorry. I've enjoyed that one too much. I love that movie.
It's really good. I was trying to think of a good quip back, and I couldn't think of anything other than I think Sarah's on the naughty list.
Oh, Sarah's 100% on the naughty list. She will also approve or slightly approve after the Red Jenny War Table operations. I think it's just slightly approved, but I think there is something to that. Solus will generally approve or slightly approve questions you ask while in conversations. He just likes you to question everything. So like, even if it's a question he doesn't like, he will be like, yeah, I don't like that you asked it, but I like that you asked it. And I'm like, okay, cool. I can appreciate that kind of mentality. He will also approve of you being kind to spirits, and he will slightly approve for any elven artifact that you activate while he is in the party. So those little like balls that turn green, he likes when you do that. Mm-hmm. Varric will approve if you are nice to him and tell jokes and support him, which, you know what? Same, Varric. I am the same way. If you are nice to me, tell me jokes and support me, I also approve of you. He will also approve if you destroy Red Lyrium nodes with him in the party, and slightly approve if he isn't in the party. Do you want to add something there?
Yeah, don't do this though. It'll feel like, oh, this is a quest that I can do here. You can't. You simply can't when you get it. This is a quest that ranges, like you can do parts of it at like level 5 when you get it. And then there are parts of it that are like level 16. Don't do what I've been doing, which is I want to do this companion quest. Let me finish that companion quest all the way through. That is not how this game can be played. Instead, go by region and do everything in a region. That will be a better level broad experience, except for the hinterlands. The hinterlands is all over the place anyway. But all the other regions are generally somewhat close, and it's been infuriating. But I think that's how I have to do it going forward. It's not by quest, but by region.
Super good advice. For those multi-region quests that you get with like companions, 100%. So like Black Walls, hey, go find these Grey Warden McMuffins, or go destroy Red Lyrium nodes, or go find these books from the Circle Towers. So for those ones, just do them as you are out and about. And some of them, like the Grey Warden ones, like if you find one out in the field and you like discover it, just leave it there, mark where it's at, and then come back to it later with Black Wall in the party.
Or just pick it up because you don't want to go all the way back to your tent and see if you can find it again. It's up to you. This is the crux between Dano and I as players. There is not a chance that I would ever be like, I'm going to spend another 10 minutes doing this quest for a slight improvement in approval.
What I generally do with those quests, like the Blackwall ones, if I know, and the Red Lyrium ones, if I know I'm in an area where I need that, okay, I'm gonna bust some Red Lyrium up in this area. Okay, Varric's just gonna come along. Or there's some Grey Warden McMuffins in this area. Okay, then Blackwall's coming along. That's how I kind of like choose who's in the party for that area. Not that I'm coming back for him. So I'm just like being selective based on like, oh, this is a McMuffin quest for this companion, so they're going to come along today.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And then Vivian, you will gain approval from Vivian by supporting the Mage's Circle. She's super into the Mage's Circle and doesn't like the Mage Rebellion. So the more you support the Rebellion, the more she will disapprove of you. And the first time I played this game, she despised me. It was like, I'd go talk to her. She'd be like, hey, what do you want? I think I hate your face. You're a jerk. It was a lot of fun. She will slightly approve when you pick up books during the favors the first enchanter quest, regardless of her being in the party or not, which is an easy way to leave her out of the party. She's someone I hardly ever take along.
I like her a lot. I've been swapping through basically everybody, but she is one of those that I'm like, I kind of do what you do better now, so it's more difficult to bring you along.
And like honestly, like I feel as far as like mages are concerned, Dorian is just more fun for the goofs and the laughs. Like he just his chats are always kind of give you a little chuckle. And Solus has a bunch of like little history drops that he'll give you. So you'd be in an area, you'd be like, oh yes, and then in this area, 1,000 years ago, this happened, or the elven so and such and such and such. And I'm like, oh, that's really interesting. And so I feel like the other two mages have just more interesting things to say while out in the field. And so I kind of So that's kind of how she gets left at home a lot.
Which is a bummer because she has such an amazing, iconic entrance when you meet her.
I know, right? She's a lot of fun. She has like a bunch of opinions. Her like story is pretty interesting, actually. But yeah, she's super easy to leave at home. Find the button. There it is.
Thanks. I am pretty incredible.
Thanks. Bro, we haven't even gotten to the thank yous yet. We're 30 minutes in and we haven't gotten to the thank yous, the patrons.
I was really sure this was going to be a shorter episode, too.
Really nailing it. Look, it's only 2 Daniels. What could possibly go wrong? Oh, I guess we'll just talk forever about nothing.
That's probably my fault. Hey, thanks, patrons and Twitch subs. You're awesome. I'm so glad that you support the podcast. It honestly means the world to us. It's fantastic. Thank you so very, 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 very much. We appreciate you letting us talk for half an hour about why Vivian is nice, but maybe not as fun to bring along as Dorian. Stuff the world needs. Let me tell you what.
This one's a real page turner.
Dano, we have a lot of advisors and companions. Do you want to go every other on this one?
Sure do. All right, so start off with Cullen. Cullen is the commander of our military forces, a former Templar who served at the gallows and Kinlockhold. This dude is a terrible person to be around because only bad things happen to Cullen.
And that continues. We also have Josephine, who's our ambassador and chief diplomat. She's an Antivan noble, and we all remember her name this week. We all remember her name is Josephine.
Some of us are pretty close to dating Josephine.
Whoa.
I know. For RP purposes, only because she has a personality. She's fine, but I feel like my character as a noble, I feel like it's just, anyways, that's what I've decided. Liliana is our spy master, former companion of the hero of Ferelden. She was the left hand of the divine, and she is a broken individual who life has fully beaten down. It's sad.
Yeah, she's been through a rough bit. For our companions, so the people we can bring along with us, we have Blackwall, who is the Grey Warden in search of new recruits, who is definitively not interested in the Inquisition until we say, okay, I respect your decision, and then he's definitely interested in the Inquisition and joins along. He's the only Grey Warden that we have seen up until this point, and he is a champion and a defensive specialist.
Then we have Cassandra. She is a human warrior, a very distant member of the Royal Pentagast family. She is a Seeker, which is a fancy Templar. She was the right hand of divine. Her specialization is Templar, and she pretty much started the Inquisition. So her and Liliana did it together, but Cassandra really was the one who was the leader of the Inquisition before it had a leader.
I would like you to know that I have chosen the flirt option with literally every single person that I possibly could, both in our companions and ambassadors, except for SERA. SERA, we don't need to go in that direction. That's totally fine.
How about Scout Harding?
Absolutely, yes.
Do you want a spoiler for that?
Yes.
So Scout Harding, you can flirt with her for the entire base game, and it kind of stays at flirting. But when you get to the final DLC, if you stop flirting with everyone else and just flirt with her, you can fully romance Scout Harding.
That's fantastic news.
I know.
Next up, we have Cole, and Cole is a spirit who also has a human body, but it's not possession, and it's really cool. He's a super cool, interesting character, and there's so much weirdness about him that I love him. He is a rogue and specializes in assassination.
We have Dorian. Dorian is a necromantic mage from Tevinter. He wants Tevinter to step into the future instead of being obsessed over its past.
Real creepy when you bring him into your party and you kill something, and then all of a sudden it comes back and you think, well, that's a zombie, so maybe I have to kill it a second time. No, that's just Dorian doing Dorian things.
When they start running away because you got the fear thing and forgot that you got the fear thing, like, wait, where are you going?
Come back! Next up, we have Iron Bull, who's a Kunari with a Reaver specialization. He's also an agent of the Ben Hasreth, which are like the agency, priests, special agents. He's super cool and also loves his crew. He is such a fan of, like, I am going to create a bond with every single person that serves under me. No one is above me or below me. We are all in this together. Love Iron Bull and the way that he treats his crew.
Have you gone and spoke with Clem much?
I hadn't until I talked with him a little bit until I talked with Iron Bull a couple times, and then I found out more about them, and I was like, oh, That's awesome and really cool representation.
Yep.
I imagine we'll get to that when we talk about the cinematics here later, yeah?
I did not get into it today about Clem. So we'll have to get back to Clem later because I didn't get to that. I haven't even got that far into Iron Bull cinematics yet because I had like the dragon one and then like so haven't even got to that yet. So we can if you want to.
Interesting. And I didn't have the dragon one yet. I just kept talking to Iron Bull until there wasn't a cinematic.
That's a really good way to do it, though. We've got SERA. SERA is an elven rogue. Her specialization is Tempest, which means she can use potions to boost her damage on defense. She is one of 3 current Red Jennies operating in Thetis. The Friends of Red Jenny are a secret society that perform elaborate revenge schemes ranging from petty thievery or mischief to contractual assassinations on those who would prey on the lowborn of society. SERA is like what if a manic pixie dream girl combined with an anarchist and has a haircut from a Floby. That's SERA in a nutshell.
I do not care for her. There are many aspects that I would love, I think, like the idea of a revolutionist or an anarchist who doesn't take herself too seriously. Big fan. But she's like so weird that she's not a person. She's the only person in the group that I don't feel like is a real character. Everyone else has like layers and levels, and I'm sure SERA does too, but if they do, they're buried so deep beneath like 30 layers of sarcasm and silly that I'm like, we're trying to save the world. I don't need this right now.
So you remember that friend you had in high school that tried so hard that basically no one could hang out with him?
Yeah.
So that's kind of SERA. And if you get through all of that and you get to hanging out on the rooftop with SERA and her like actually having a friend, she's one of those party members where you're like, oh, there is actually a really interesting person inside here, but getting there can be hard.
It's been tough so far. Next up is Solus. He's an elven apostate mage and an expert in the Fade. He has a specialization in rift magic, which is difficult to explain why, because rifts haven't existed until the start of this game, so who's to say how he's an expert in those, but you know what? We're going to go ahead and take that and just forget about it. This does allows him to use offensive spells and also use manipulating gravity in various fun ways.
So we have Varric. We all know Varric. We love Varric. Varric is awesome. We love Varric's chest hair. Varric is a surface dwarf rogue, former companion of Hawk, the champion of Kirkwall. You may know Varric from his best-selling books, Hard and Hightown, his romance series, Swords and Shields, or The Tale of the Champion. The Tale of the Champion tells the story of the rise of his friend Hawk and their involvement in the Kirkwall Rebellion. Varric's specialization is Artificer, which means he uses traps.
Which means I will not use that. I don't care for traps.
The elemental grenades are the trick. They're really, really good.
The fire grenade or whatever it is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Vivian is last. She is a human mage. She is loyal to the Circle and is the official enchanter of the Imperial Court of Orlais. Her specialization is Knight Enchanter, which is a fancy way of saying Jedi or like yeah, Jedi is a very good explanation, but a wizard who can also do some melee stuff.
Yeah, Jedi. I think we're very clear about that. If you look at her skill tree, tell me it's not Jedi. It's Jedi the skill tree.
Yeah.
As of this moment, I declare the Inquisition reborn.
Our Inquisition picks up after we have recruited the Templars or the Mages, and we are like, great, it's time to close the rift. And you do. I really expected there to be a fight or anything here, and there's not. It's just a cinematic of you closing the rift.
With uplifting music. There's uplifting music.
There is uplifting music, and there is a handful of people, I imagine with mages that are just like maging around. The Templars have their swords stabbed into the ground, which is super helpful for everybody. But it's just, you do it. Yay! Then you head back to Haven and you party, which is also kind of off-putting because you're like, that can't be it. It's certainly not. Soon party time is cut short by either Dorian, if you chose to save the Templars, or Cole, if you chose to align with the mages. And they're like, hey, bad news bears, armies coming, led by the Elder One. They're coming to kill you. So, the Elder One, we get a brief glimpse of him, and he looks extremely familiar. In fact, he looks exactly like Corypheus, who we definitely defeated with the Grey Wardens in Dragon Age 2. And there was that one Grey Warden who was all talking crazy, and then he wasn't talking crazy, and he was going to let us, and he told us that he was just going to let all the Grey Wardens know about what happened today. So it's a little weird that, in unrelated news, I think it's important to remind people that Grey Wardens defeat archdemons by absorbing their essence for a brief while, and then they have to be killed when they've absorbed their essence. And if they haven't absorbed their essence, then the Grey Wardens go insane, and then they just become that person.
It's a
Interesting.
really cool DLC once you get into Dragon Age Inquisition.
Yeah. Still begs the question why Hawk goes down there in the first place.
Well, nope.
Because if Hawk doesn't go down at all, Dragon Age Inquisition doesn't happen.
Which Varric very much understands and feels real bad about.
I think probably should.
Oh, yeah.
Probably should that you started the end of the world, intentional or otherwise. So, Corypheus is now, we know, the main person that is behind all of this, and they have launched an army to attack Haven. And Haven, we defend Haven by largely using trebuchets on the mountains, which cause avalanches, which is very silly and also great. It's very like Mulan. You then eventually pull back and rescue a number of various townsfolk, but apparently some of them are on timers, and if you don't rescue them in time, you're just super duper dead. Yes, Dano.
How many times did you redo this to make sure you saved them all?
Not a once. I accepted that I didn't save any of them.
Oh, I did it at least 5 times. The hardest one, so the 2 that were up by the shed, Solus's shed, those were tough because you had to run away from a fight to get to them in time. And then once you got to them, then you had to go over and save the supply lady who would just not stop fighting. Lady, I've got the fight. Just run away. Please stop. Oh, please stop fighting and getting yourself killed.
I went through it once and I went, oh, I have to do this on a real strict timer? Not interested. Let's go ahead and just keep going and accept that they've died. You pull everyone back to the Chantry. But Corypheus also has a very big dragon that is just destroying everybody and everything, and there's no way to fight it. You've not prepared for this dragon. This dragon is going to wreck you. So you kind of prepare to make your last stand, Helm's Deep style, where you're like, well, we gonna die. Oopsies. And Chancellor Roderick, who has been an absolute jerkwagon this entire time, is like, I actually know how to get out of here. And you're like, Chancellor Roderick, are you useful? And he's like, yeah, I accidentally stumbled upon this path, and Droste must have shown it to me. I can get everybody out of here. And you're like, wow, I'm only 1 point sorry that I thought you an absolutely terrible human. Which I think most of the time you are. But you know what? Right here, I gotta give you props. And so the plan is, I almost was like Hawk. Hawk's not here yet. The Inquisitor is going to go out, basically try to distract them by launching a trebuchet at the mountain one more time. Everybody's going to go out the back, and that'll be that. The Inquisitor is probably going to die here. And
not the Inquisitor yet.
Sorry, not the Inquisitor. The Herald at this point. The Herald. We are confronted by Corypheus and his dragon after we get the trebuchet set up. We then launch it. But before we launch it, he tries to take his mark back. And we realize that the mark that we have been using to close rifts was originally created by Corypheus, and he calls it an anchor point. And he tries to take it back, and he's basically like, I can't possibly take it back anymore because McMuffins can't be stolen once they've been used in this manner. And it was supposed to be used to help, like, destroy the sky and destroy the world because Corypheus wants to visit the throne of the gods again and basically rule over everything. Good news, though, he can't take it back. Even better news, in the moment where he's like, oh, I can't take it back, we're like, hey, you've let your guard down for a second. Launch Trebuchet, launches an avalanche, destroys most of the mountain. We jump into an abandoned building to avoid the avalanche, and Corypheus and his dragon fly off to safety. We stumble around in the wilderness and snow until we eventually find the Inquisition, and Solus leads the Inquisition to a castle called Skyhold. And when we awake, we are told that the Inquisition has decided to name us as the Inquisitor, and we can say why we are what we're leading the Inquisition for. It can either be for power, it can be, I said, to show that elves can be good people too, and SERA didn't like that. And so you can say it for a number of different reasons.
I think I said like for Andraste or something like that, which she also didn't like.
Yeah.
What did you think about the campsite before you got to Skyhold? So like they rescue you as you're like stumbling through the ice, and the three advisors are all fighting. And then Mother, what's her name, starts the hymn. What'd you think of that?
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
So it's just a moment where you can see everybody is like really pushed to the breaking point. And what's the possible solution here? Oh, it's waiting for the right opportunity to show itself. And you as the Inquisitor can be like, should I go talk to them? And she's like, absolutely not. They don't need a solution. They need to get this out because they're blaming themselves in various ways. And if they don't talk about it now, we'll never be able to go forward.
Mother Giselle's, I believe her name. I think that's her name.
Yeah.
And then she starts up this like chantry hymn, and then like everybody like within
it's so
the camp.
good.
It is so. Tell me, it's just so. It's so good. It's really one of those really great camp moments in video games. I love it.
I think I debated about having this as my thing that surprised me this week, so I'm going to put it here. The music in this game is, I think, the best music since Mass Effect 3. It is so beautiful, and it highlights points, and there are times where it's given me goosebumps. It's incredibly well done.
Yes, it is a just fantastic soundtrack. Truly amazing. So we get to Skyhold. Skyhold's our new home, and it's a dump. So what is the first thing we have to do? Because it is a dump, we need to fix it up and make it look less dumpy. So we get to go and do the quest Inquisition Trappings, where we go down into the basement where we have a forge, and we get to choose the most important parts of an RPG. We get to personalize our base. So we get to set up our throne, set up our bed, set up the curtains we like, and the banners, and all the real fun things. Stormrage, how many things have you changed?
I'm busy leading an Inquisition. I can't change curtains. I haven't changed one single thing. I was born in the dump. I will live in the dump. I will die in the dump.
I'm on my third throne.
No. Dano, how do we do a video game podcast together when we are polar opposites on gamers?
I think that's why it's fun. Next up, we have the ever important task of sitting in judgment. We are the Inquisitor, and so our allies expect to a certain extent that we are going to judge those who commit crimes against the Inquisition. So the first thing we have to do is decide the fate of either Magister Alexis or Knight Captain Denham, depending on if we sided with the Mage or the Templars. So I don't know how the mage options were, but for the Templars, which is what I did, for Knight Captain Denham, we can either execute him, stick him in jail, leave his fate up to the Templars, exile him to the Sea of Ash, which requires a history knowledge perk, or conscript him to join the Inquisition, but we can only do this if we didn't discover that he murdered the former head of the Templars. So what did you do? Do you remember, Stormrage?
Yeah, I was like, look, Templars, I think you're gonna kill this dude, and that's what I do want, but I don't want to be the one that makes that call.
Nice.
So off to the Templars you go, and the second you do, he's like, they're gonna kill me, and I went, good.
I exiled him to the Sea of Ash because it's a real fun moment where she's like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the historical thing for this, for the Templars, is for you to be exiled to serve out the last of your days fighting for your life in the Sea of Ash. She's like, no, anything but that. It's pretty great. And I was like, oh, this is only available if I have the history knowledge, which I like even better.
Yeah, that's very good.
Next up, we have the quest training for the Inquisitor. This is where we get to choose our specialization. So we have to go and recruit 3 trainers to come to Skyhold. And they're like, hey, you should be an X or a Y or a Z. And then we get to choose which one we want to be. Stormrage, what did you do and how did you become the thing?
I chose a Knight Enchanter, and it is awesome. It's a super fun class, and I think maybe the most fun I have had in a Dragon Age as far as a class is concerned. I had to create my Spirit Blade, which is essentially my lightsaber. But it's called the Spirit Blade this time around. And in order to do that, I had to go to the Fallen Mire. I can't remember exactly what it's called. Is it Fallen Mire? Fallow Mire?
Fallow Mire,
something.
I think.
Fallow Mire. It's a zombie-ridden swamp place. And I had to go kill some wisps there and grab their essence. Then I had to go to the Black Emporium to buy some materials that I didn't want to farm elsewhere. And then I stole a book from Vivian about how to be a Knight Enchanter. And now I am an unstoppable god that just destroys waves and waves of enemies. And I cannot describe how good it feels. I now have a spell that like shoots out a sword that deals like a melee damage in an arc. I now gain shield based on damage that I deal, and I just in ripping through mobs in ways that I did not know were possible.
Remind me tomorrow or tonight later to find the lightsaber weapon for you. Because there's a lightsaber that you can get, which is the best weapon for the Knight Enchanter. Yeah, exactly. So it's I believe there's a couple different playways. There's a couple, at least one of them. So let me find that for you and tell you how to find it. But it's
great.
yeah,
Great.
No, I figured you'd enjoy that. So this for me was frustrating because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. At first, I thought about so my options were Assassin, Artificer, or Tempest, I believe is what it is. Tempest, yes. And so my problem was the one that was most archery, and I was having a lot of fun being an archer, was Assassin, but you lose some of the really fun things that you get to do as an archer, as an assassin. And then the best one you can do is Tempest, but you kind of stop being an archer and you actually just start like spamming skills. So like you have this like blade attack that you do, like this, it's like a medium distance like blade attack. You pop the fire potion, which makes you have no cooldown and use no like stamina, and then for like 8 seconds you just spam this ability as fast as possible and you basically mow through everything in the game. But that wasn't like archery, and so I wasn't digging that. So I decided to go with Artificer, which uses traps and grenades but then still has a lot of like the archer skills also embedded in it. So I decided to go with Artificer. For this, I had to go to the Western Approach and kill some alpha quillbacks, which were much more difficult than I thought they should be to find. But I found them, and I've been having a ton of fun doing this. I basically had to throw grenades up in close range, and then you do like a backflip when I attack with a bow that is AoE and like have like 5 or 6 arrows hit, and they all crit, which then reduces cooldowns. It's a lot of fun. So playing as an Artificer, a great time mowing through dragons and all sorts of good stuff. The next quest we had to do was acquire the Arcanist. So we have a dude working the forge, right? That's good. We need a blacksmith, but we need an Arcanist because we need someone that can like do masterwork weapons for us because of course we need to do masterwork weapons and armor. And we also need...
Fun fact, you don't. You don't need that, actually, and I have visited neither of them, and I plan on visiting neither of them throughout the rest of the game unless a quest makes me.
I bet you will. So we have to go hire our Arcanist, and so we go take care of that at the war table, and we end up hiring Dagna, which is awesome. You might remember her from when we helped her run away from her dad in Dragon Age Origins who wanted her to be a smith and she wanted to join the Circle Mages. Yeah.
That's who that is?
That's who that is, and she is buckets of fun. Buckets and buckets of fun. And when you first meet her, she talks about how her mind works so differently than almost everybody else who does like who every other Arcanist. She goes, well, it's weirder than maybe just one other person, but we don't need to talk about that. And we know who that one other person is. And it's just a sweet little Easter egg that I love, like, to toss back to Origins and to, and she's a ton of fun and yeah, a very cool character, and she'll like chat with you and talk about the things you get to make and why you make them, and a fun little backstory. All right, so we need to check up on all our friends, and because now that we're in our new home, our friends want to talk to us about the new home and what happened and all that kind of stuff. So buckle up. It's going to be a pretty fun ride, actually. So first up, we have Blackwall. Upon reaching Skyhold, Blackwall speaks about how the next time he sees Corypheus, he will like make Corypheus pay. He speaks about how this new castle we have will be able to see from miles and miles away from where Corypheus is coming. He won't catch us by surprise again. And then lastly, he wants to know if we really are the chosen of Andraste, which I said, of course, yes, I am. A lot of our companions ask this question, and it's really interesting to answer it. So like with Varric, you go, I believe I am. Do you believe that? And he goes, yeah, I've seen too much to not believe. Dorian's fantastic. My favorite Dorian will ask, do you believe? And you're like, yeah, of course. He goes, a little bit of humility and a little bit of questions might be good for you. And then he slightly disapproves. But Blackwall basically just angry about what happened at Haven. Next is Cassandra. So Cassandra, basically nothing happens until you speak with Hawk, which Varric has now invited Hawk, who he knew where she was all along, invites Hawk to come to Skyhold. We go and talk to her, and she says, hey, I have a Grey Warden pal that is in hiding that I think you need to go and talk to. So that's where we're going next. He's in Crestwall. That's why we're going there next week. So Hawk is back at Skyhold, kind of hanging out with us. And Cassandra learns that Varric knew where Hawk was all along, and she is super angry at Varric for not telling her. We could either support Varric or Cassandra during this fight, but Cassandra knows that she's a little bit in the wrong here, and so supporting Varric doesn't lead to any disapproval from Cassandra. You can be like, hey, Cassandra, you need to chill out. Varric was just doing what he thought was best, and then she doesn't disapprove, and Varric approves, so it's kind of a win-win, really. After Varric leaves, she apologizes to us and explains why she was so angry. Basically, they were desperate looking for someone to lead the Inquisition. They first looked for the hero of Ferelden, couldn't find them, and then they went looking for Hawk, which is why they went and found Varric. And when they couldn't find Hawk, they were basically at their wits' end. And she feels, and Cassandra, knows this isn't true, but also, how when awful things happen, she believes that if Hawk could have been there, maybe Haven would have ended differently, and, the Divine wouldn't have blown up. And so she's basically still mad about that, which you completely understand. And then she ends it with being like, I do believe that the Maker, seeing how much trouble we were in, truly did send you to us in our moment of need. And even though I wish we didn't need you, I am happy that you're the leader of the Inquisition. It's a really neat little moment.
It is, but this did open the possibility to Hawk being the main character in Inquisition in my brain, and I wanted that so bad because I miss my Hawk so bad. And the idea of them being the Inquisitor, I know. It would have been so cool.
There are a couple things I wish they could have done. One, Hawk just being the Inquisitor could be super fun. Or two, having Hawk be a playable character. Yeah. Like having Hawk just be a member of the party could have been super cool. If you had a mage Hawk, have him be a mage. I mean, I know it's a little bit extra work, but I'm sorry, that'd be awesome. Because Hawk was such a cool
great.
character. You have a little note here that I absolutely love. Is it the swords and shields? Is that what it is?
Yes. So after we get to Skyhold, Dano was like, talk to everybody. So I kind of just like went around and I just talked to people. And my first conversation with Cassandra, she's reading a book, and we come across her, and she's like, I'm just reading nothing. Don't worry about it. And I innocently, because I'm an idiot, I was like, oh, okay. So there's just like a book she's reading. And my partner, Stevie, has been watching me play a lot of it. And she went, oh, she's reading smut. And I went, no. And then about 10 lines later, she's like, it's romance. And I was like, okay, so good call. She does call it smutty, which I think is incredible. And then the second scene that I saw her in was her freaking out on Varric. So it was a incredible 180. And additionally, so it went this finding out she read smut into her yelling at Varric. And then the very next scene was Varric giving her the next book in the series. So it was an incredible 1, 2, 3.
Tell me that isn't exactly how friendship works, though, sometimes, where you're...
Yeah.
Because the Swords and Shields is Varric's romance series. So she doesn't know anything's up. She believed Varric all along. And so was like, of course, Varric wouldn't lie to me about this because we're friends. And then finding out that he did, and then blowing up in his face, and then, talking to another friend and being like, ugh, I should not have done that. I was angry and needed to blow off some steam, and this is what was going on. I feel so bad about this. And then the next scene, that friend that you got mad at, it's like, oh, by the way, here's a thing. We're still pals. I love it. The companions in this game are
really
so good. Speaking of weird companions, we get Cole. Cole is in Skyhold, and he is trying to help people who are suffering after the battle with Corypheus. Some of them are in incredible pain, and some of them are dying, and some of them are on death's door. So we find Cole within like basically the medical tents, and he is like about to kill somebody who he has decided is going to die. He's like, this person is suffering. They can't help him, and it's going to be hours and hours of suffering and pain, and then he's going to die. So the compassionate thing for me to do is to end their life now. And we can be like, okay, go ahead. You're right. End their life. Or we can be like, but we don't know the future, Cole. We don't know that maybe the healer won't be able to do something and help, or something miraculous might happen. So isn't it better to wait and see, even though they are in pain? Which I think is really, really cool. And then the next thing is him putting in memories of home and the last moments of another soldier's death. It's like the stew his mother made and the smell of home. And it's just this really, like, just to give like this like helping them cross peacefully over, while they die. It's really a really neat scene with a really strange character, because he will talk nonsense sometimes. Like, he'll speak and you'll be like, wow, those were words. I don't know what they meant. And then you get really interesting stuff like this. He's a fascinating character. Absolutely fascinating. Then we get Dorian. We find Dorian in Skyhold, the library, and he is coming to terms with the fact that the story the Chantry told about the Magisters beginning the Blight was all true. Him, like the rest of us, believed it was a story. And he's like, well, Corypheus is a Magister who says he found the city and is a Darkspawn, so therefore it's all true, and Tevinter destroyed the world. We did this. The Blights are all our fault. And so he's dealing with that, which, you know what? That sounds rough.
Yeah, that's rough, buddy.
Later on, when we talk to Mother Giselle, she will tell us that Dorian's father has reached out to us, to her, to set up a meeting with Dorian, because Dorian is estranged from his family, and his father doesn't believe that Dorian will come and meet him in Redcliffe without being lied to, essentially. So we have to choose whether to tell Dorian that his father has come to talk to him, or lie to him and to see if, we can help he and his father come to terms with their relationship. Mother Giselle thinks we should lie to him. So That's a decision we get to make. I haven't made it yet. I'm probably going to lie to him, but I don't know yet. So we'll see. We have Iron Bull. We talked about Iron Bull. Iron Bull's the absolute best.
He's the best.
The first thing he does is he puts the Inquisitor into the uniform of a member of Bull's Chargers and takes us to the campfires around the Inquisition and just like talks to the soldiers to see why they joined the Inquisition, who they are, where they came from. And after we're done, he's like, yeah, I know every soldier under my command. That's not a thing you can do. But hopefully this will put some faces and names to the people who are serving you, which I think is a pretty cool little thing from an experienced leader to a new leader.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have SERA. When we visit SERA, she looks at us and says, it's too much, isn't it? I just wanted to plug the Skyhold rubbish so I can go play, but this is too much. And then if the Inquisitor is a woman and has flirted with her, she will say, and how pretty are you that I actually think that this is possible? Which I think is a fairly cool little moment with SERA. For Solus, when we reach Skyhold and speak to Solus and ask him the follow-up question, which you have to do to trigger this, tell me more about yourself, he will invite us to go to Haven. Remember Haven? It's where everything was destroyed. He will talk about how he studied the anchor while we were recovering after the explosion, how Cassandra suspected that he wasn't to be trusted, and how he wanted to run. And then we sealed the rift. During this, we realized that we are sleeping and are visiting him in the Fade while we are dreaming. And he's very impressed that we realized that. Then we wake up in our bedroom in Skyhold, and we can change our pajamas into something that looks like actual clothing. Have you done this yet?
Nope. I did not realize that was a trigger because I talked to him and nothing happened. And I went, okay.
I didn't realize that was the trigger either until Matt was like, how do I change my pajamas? It won't let me change my pajamas. And I was like, just go talk to Solus. It's like, it doesn't work. And I'm like, oh, that's my bad. You have to ask the follow-up. My bad. Sorry about that, everyone. So Varric, after the fight with Cassandra, Varric explains that he wasn't trying to hide anything, but instead was trying to protect his friend. We can later return, and he says to us, Maker's breath, what have I let loose? Referencing the fact that Hawk and Varric thought they had killed Corypheus, but were tricked and allowed him to escape. Vivian's conversation is different depending on how she feels about us. If she is friendly with the Inquisitor, she will ask us if we are okay. If she doesn't like us, she will tell us that using Haven as a base of operation was a mistake. And if she is neutral, she will crack a joke that if we wanted more public attention, we could have just thrown a party.
That was what she gave me.
Colin gets the defenses set up, and then during the first conversation and the second conversation, we will find him in his room, and he is staring at his the delirium like tool that he has, and it looks very much like something you would do with like it's like you got a spoon and a lighter, and there's there. Yeah. So he's like. He tells the Inquisitor, goes, I am no longer taking lyrium, and I'm going through lyrium withdrawals. I do not want to be addicted to this substance anymore. I've been coming off it for a while, and now that you're the Inquisitor, I thought you should know. And he goes, I have told Cassandra that if I'm no longer fit to lead, that she has to take over command. And then we can say, what are you doing? Take the lyrium. Or we can be like, okay, cool, I support you. It's our choice to go either way. I assume we're all going to support him in this. I feel like we're not going to make him take delirium, because I mean, you've got to be a real bad person. Like we're talking about, take the lyrium, be a drug addict. Josephine tells the Inquisitor that her family is a family of merchants. They are a noble family, but they make their money through like, selling and trading goods. And that she has been trying to get back into Orlais, which her family has not been in for 100 years. And she tells us that her family's merchants have been attacked lately. We determined that it's actually a hit that a rival family took out on her family 100 years ago. Basically, they hired a group of assassins that if she ever tried to if her or any from her family ever tried to make connections in Orlais again, that they should assassinate this person. So we have to go and help her fix the glitch. It's good times. And then we find Liliana in her room with her crows, and she is beating herself up about being too soft and the fact that she recalled her agents too soon. And she believes that if she had left them out on the field to sacrifice their lives, that they could have given us more time to escape. She She was like, I should have not valued their lives over that of everyone else's. And then we can be like, no, their lives are important and you did the right thing. Or you can be like, yeah, you done goofed. And this is one of those key conversations on whether Liliana's disposition is hardened or softened. So like one of the things you can do in this game is turn Liliana back into the Liliana we knew in Origins, or keep her the Liliana we have in Inquisition. So this is a thing that you can do in this game. And that is what we did with our friends. There was a lot.
Yeah.
Hello, old friend. Let's meet for tea after the match, shall we?
Slurp, slurp, slurp.
I feel like you're like taking time in order for me to try to talk over it. I know you're not, but I'm just saying, it feels like a trap. Feels like an
who's to say?
Admiral Akbar
Who's to say,
trap.
Dano? You gotta keep your head on a swivel.
Hey, what'd you do this week in Dragon Age Inquisition?
So I went out to the swamplands and I killed a bunch of undead in a very fun, like, almost horror nod. The undead are mostly summoned when you walk into the water, so like very similar. It may remind me of the Dead Marshes in Lord of the Rings, and so it's like stay out of the water, stay out of the water, and you can light some beacons in that area, and these beacons will draw out all of the undead from the water, which will in turn make the water safe if you successfully kill all of the undead there, which is also a nice little touch. But the reason we're there is that there are some barbarians to the south, and they've kidnapped some Inquisition because they want to fight me. That's a bad decision. I'm basically God right now. And so the son of the chieftain wants to fight me. You come across a couple of other barbarians who are like, I don't really care about that. Do your own thing. But he does want to fight you, so you're going to have to fight him. So I go out and I absolutely murdered him because, again, I can't die with my new setup. I'm too powerful for that. And then in turn, this is a very nice touch. After you kill the chieftain's son, the chieftain gets arrested and you sit in judgment of him because he throws a goat at your wall. And it's one of my favorite things that I've seen is it's just an image of the castle wall with a goat next to it. And you're like, oh, is the goat going to ram it? And then you see a goat that has been flung as if by a catapult, slamming into the wall, and then it slides down, and then it just, like, walks a little bit. And the chieftain's like, look, you killed my son. I had to do this because I have to paint your walls in goat blood. And you're like, okay, I guess. And you can do a couple of things with him. You can basically, like, let him go to the gallows for a little bit, but it's a little unclear. It's like very much and then you'll be fine. Or you can arm him and send him to go kill Tevinter mages, because that's all he really wants to do is go kill Tevinter mages. So he's like, what a good punishment. I now get to do the thing that I want better than what I was doing previously. It's amazing. I attempted to help destroy more red lyrium for Varric. I found a magic relic for Soulless to interact with. I helped Cassandra get the newest chapter for her smutty series. I found some more Grave Warden memories, but again, couldn't get all of them. I tried to kill a bear that was so powerful, my new ability that pulls on the rift couldn't kill it. It literally took me about as long to kill this as it did the Envy Demon. I don't know what's happened with those bears, because it was not a special bear, it was not an elite bear, it was not a boss bear, it was just a bear. And it took me, no joke, 4 minutes of casting and auto attacks to kill this level 8 bear.
You sure it wasn't one of the elite bears for that quest?
It might have been, but it looked like a normal bear, and I can't tell what the difference is between an elite and a regular, because it just said bear.
It'll have a little shield where it says bear. So underneath it, it'll have like a fancier looking shield, which denotes it being an elite.
It did have a shield next to bear, so it was probably elite. Yeah. But it did take me longer to kill that than the Envy Demon, and that seemed a little silly.
Were you in the Hinterlands?
Yes.
So there are 3 elite bears in the Hinterlands that you have to kill for a quest, and they just show up, and they will not go away until you kill all 3 of them, and it is very frustrating because they are so hard to kill. But they give you...
They're so hard to kill.
They give you bear claws, which is a special fancy kind of thing that will create a special fancy kind of masterwork armor. Each bear claw gives you a 30% chance to give, like, I forget what it's called, but basically it 10%'s everything better. So if you hit on this 30% chance... then everything that you create, so it'll do 10% more DPS, of 10% more armor. So it's basically a way to make a super special kind of thing. Now you can't like guarantee it. So what happens, I believe, this is what I believe based on a lot of hours of playing this game, is there is a seed that is created when you log into the game for the Masterwork armor. So what you can do is, doesn't matter how many times you restart and reload, I think you have to exit and come back. But so what you do is you just have like the junk things you want to make. And then you use the Masterwork material that you want to do for 30% or 40%. And you keep on doing that until it hits. And then you go back to the save right before you start to create it. And then you just create the things, and then you use the good materials on the one that hits, and it's always hit for me. So I believe it's a seed that is created, so you'll know that like, oh, it hits on the second one, or oh, it hits on the third one. I believe it's set. This is just maybe I'm just thinking it happens.
To quote the lyricist Bo Burnham, I'm not gonna do that.
Those bears are awful, and I hate them though, because they hang out right by the camp. It's miserable, and they like double and triple team you. It's awful. It's really, really awful.
Dano, what did you get to this week?
So I needed to go to the Western Approach to kill some Alpha Quillbacks for my specialization quest. So I figured I might as well clear the whole zone. Which I did, and it was awesome. The Western Approach is a large, arid region in southwestern Orlais. It was ravaged during the Second Blight when Darkspawn swarmed out of the rift in the southern area of the Approach. So many Darkspawn died, and so much of their blood was spilt that it ravaged the land, never allowing it to recover. There are 3 major things in this region that we get to deal with: the Still Ruins, Griffin Keep, and an Abyssal High Dragon. So the Still Ruins are super cool. They are a set of ancient ruins situated in an oasis in the Western Approach. We find it because it is being guarded by some Venatori mages. You remember the Venatori? They are a cult of Tevinter supremacists who want to make Tevinter great again. They worship Corypheus as a deity and don't have the excuse of being warped by Red Lyrium like the Red Templars do. They are just power hungry and will do everything and anything to rule over others. After dispatching the Venatori outside the ruins, we head inside and find Tevinter mages fighting demons. Both the mages and the demons are frozen in place. At the center of the battle is a rift. This was obviously one of those time rifts, and it done goofed, and everything was frozen in time. So as we progress through the ruins, we learn that the Venatori were pillaging these ruins for scraps of power associated with this old experiment. We clear the ruins of Tevinter, undo the experiment, clear out all the demons, and close the rift, because we are heroes. Then we get to Griffin Wing Keep. Griffin Wing Keep is a former Grey Warden fortress that has been taken over by the Venatori. We can't have that, so we crash the gate, kill all the Venatori, and take over the keep. Once we've taken it over, we have a merchant, a forge, and a new commander, Commander Rylan. Seems like a nice enough guy. He tells us that the Venatori dumped a bunch of bodies down the well, so we need to find a new water source. And there are also some Darkspawn in the area that need to be cleared out. We take care of that because we're nice. Then, and don't forget to collect the sad splinters of the door. If you get 3 of these sad splinters, you can craft the ultimate weapon, Mark's Mangled Mace, which is a literal banana nailed to a stick. It's not even that great of a weapon.
That's very good.
Yeah,
a banana to a stick is very good.
Yeah, so 3 sad splinters, and you get to craft Mark's Mangled Mace, which is a banana nailed to a stick. It's fantastic, and I love it. Next is the Abyssal High Dragon. So during our travels, we run into Frederick of Seralt, professor of Draconology from the University of Orlais. He is studying an Abyssal High Dragon that is hanging about the area. His supplies have been stolen, and we need to help him with his research. Sure, we're busy saving Thetis from a magister of old who wants to turn the world into a nightmare hellscape under their control, but science waits for no one. We collect some supplies, find some additional materials, check out some recent kills, and lastly, drop some bait so Professor Frederick can study the dragon's eating habits. The bait works a little too well, and we have to kill the dragon. We apologize to Professor Frederick, and he is nothing but excited. We invite him to join the Inquisition. If you brought Iron Bull along, he will invite you to the bar for some drinks while he tells you stories about the Canary and rumors about how they have dragon blood mixed into their lineage somewhere in their deep, dark past.
Taste my grilled cheese.
Much, much, much.
What's our first good, Storm Rage?
Our first good is that I feel so powerful as a Knight Enchanter. It is crazy. The way that the combat flows, the amount of damage I deal, the amount of flexibility I have, the fact that I'm not dying all the time, the fact that if someone comes into melee range, now I have a counter to that, and it's murder them. It's so fun, and I also read that, like, the Knight Enchanter is one of the few things that you could use to solo the entire game, which does seem perhaps a bit busted, but I am extremely excited at the prospects, and I've been enjoying playing this class and this spec a lot.
I've got the not so good. It's that there's no meter for approval. It's just like a real bummer. Like, imagine having an amazingly cool system like Dragon Age 2, and then making the sequel, Dragon Age Inquisition, and being like, let's throw that away and not put anything in its place. I don't know. Seems like a bit of a bummer. I don't want to tell them how to do their job, but the Dragon Age 2 system was so neat because you gained skills based on, like, it was very cool. I'm just sad we don't have it in Inquisition.
I agree.
I've also got the best
What's
good.
our best good?
Oh, yeah. Everything from Corypheus' armies coming down the mountains to the fight to save the lives in Haven, to the advisors fight in the snow, to the hymn, to being named the Inquisitor is just perfect. It's campy and unapologetic, and I love it. It is, even the music is amazing. Even, like, wandering through the snow is amazing, and getting through the cave is awesome. It's just an A+. It's an absolute A+.
He asks each traveler 5 questions. 3 questions. 3 questions.
3, that's a magic number. I will ask myself 3 questions.
Hey, Storm Rage, what are you liking so far?
I am really loving, like, the specific upgrades that are offered within the class specs, and how much more clear it is in Dragon Age Inquisition versus it was in Dragon Age Origins of, like, here is how you unlock your spec. Because in Dragon Age Origins, you kind of had to stumble into it and have a conversation with somebody that gave you a secret unlock to learn a thing, and you had to have approval, and it was a nightmare thing to navigate without knowing outside information. Now it's just, here's what I do, here's the thing that I offer, here's the quest. Now, is the quest kind of a nightmare because it's go find random things all over the place? I'm not going to tell you where it is.
Yeah.
Yes, but at the very least, that's the only nightmare about it, rather than how do I even start this thing? So I really like how it's overall designed and implemented.
And I love that you didn't even realize Dragon Age 2 had specializations.
They do, but it's not in the same way.
No,
like, they
it's
don't
not.
unlock at any point. Like, there's not a thing that you have to do
Yeah.
to unlock them. You can also bounce between. So it felt more like class diversity rather than class specializations. I know that they were called specializations, but it felt more like just a different thing that you could kind of put points into.
Nope, I think that's really a good point, because you could choose 2 of the 3. So, like, you could choose, you didn't even have to specialize. You just diversified. Yeah. Actually, that's a very good point. So, yes, I tip my hat. You are correct.
Dano, what do you like it so far?
Killing dragons is just so much stinking fun. I love killing the dragons. They're great. It's just, you like a hero in a fantasy game. It is fantastic. I've killed 2 dragons so far. I have the achievement for killing all 10 dragons on nightmare mode. So I've done this before. But it's they're my favorite part of the game. I love killing dragons.
How difficult is it to kill a dragon? Let's say for a normal person that is on a normal difficulty. Like, is it, because in Dragon Age 2 we fought a dragon.
Mm-hmm.
and is it similar in difficulty to that? Is it much harder, or thoughts?
So there are 10 dragons, and some of them are easy and some of them are very hard. So
Okay.
the dragon in I'm forgetting the zone I was in. Shoot. The dragon in the area I was just in the wastes there, is actually a pretty easy dragon to kill. It's not easy, but it's not also super difficult. It doesn't I don't think it had like a crazy fire AoE attack. It didn't summon any ads. So you can basically, especially if you have like your new special power like ready to go, if you like drop that and you have a companion that has one as well, you can blow through like probably half of its health. And then it's just, making sure you keep yourself aware of its tail and then just focus down a leg so that it starts to stumble around a little bit. And yeah, it's not impossible. There's a storm dragon in Crestwood that's also not super hard. It like spits lightning, but like when I fought it yesterday, the lightning really didn't bother me too much. Now, the fire dragon in the hinterlands, I've tried that thing 3 times and I haven't killed it yet. And I actually went and bought the fire resistance tonic today because like it has a crazy fire breath. It has dragonlings that come and spit fire during like different phases. It's a more difficult dragon. I did get it down to like 10% health, but I'm like, why? If I just did the fire tonic, I think I'll probably be able to take it down pretty easily. And I didn't have like my special power ready to go either, so I was just DPSing it. So that one should be okay. Then there are some harder dragons in that one even. So it really depends. But if you want to kill just like one dragon to get the Dragon Maw throne and to get like bring Iron Bull with you to get like the Great Approval, the one in the waste is probably the way to go. And you should be able to take care of that. Yeah.
Okay.
What are you struggling with?
There's so many things that you can do now, but weirdly, so many things you can't do. And that combination is kind of infuriating, where I have probably like 50 different quests in my quest log. I can realistically do maybe 20 of them. And trying to figure out which ones I can do, which ones I've unlocked the literal location for, which ones I'm high enough level for, which ones I have the perks in the Inquisition unlocked for, sucks so much. And I wish that there would be some indication of either difficulty as far as like related to level, or hey, this quest is available, but you can't do it yet. Because that would be such a time saver. Because I've gone on so many different things of like, well, I'm going to go to this quest. And then I get there and I can't do it. And it's like, this doesn't feel good. Also, when I met Hawk, I was like, you're not Hawk. You're not Hawk. You're a imposter. Because Lady Hawk is best Hawk. Bethany Hawk, best sibling Hawk. And you're telling me that you gave me Boy Hawk and you gave me Carver? Are you serious?
Boo.
Why are those the defaults? 0 for 2 on that one, BioWare.
Yeah, I have Lady Hawk, but she's a mage, and Carver is alive. No, Carver's dead. I did kill him. So I do have Lady Hawk, and she's a mage, though, because I couldn't make her into the warrior that she was. But I do have Lady Hawk, at least. It is the engine they used changed between 2 and Inquisition, and so she looks nothing like herself, which is jarring. I'm like, nope, you're not the real Hawk. You're a fake Hawk.
Yeah.
And so I had to go into and try to like make her face try to look like Hawk. It drove me crazy. I'm like, well, I'm just actually going to change her entire look then. So like the face is the same, but I'm giving different hair and everything, and be like, well, it's been a few years and she's been on the run, so she's had to change how she looks or something. That's how but yeah, the defaulting to man Hawk is wrong. Like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, it's the bad choice. It's the bad choice. Daniel, what are you struggling with?
I can't fully repair Skyhold. Like, Skyhold will continue to repair on the inside, like the main hall will get repaired. I've started working on like there's 3 things that you can upgrade that are cosmetic. I'm doing that. But there are certain parts of Skyhold that will never repair. Like the hallway that you go from the main hall to the war table. will never repair. There is a cobweb in a corner that will never get cleaned, and there is a hole in the wall that will never get patched, and it drives me insane. 450 hours in this game, and I still can't run down that hallway without like my brain melting out my ears, because why doesn't it just get fixed? Why doesn't it get fixed? Why would you not have that be a thing? Why would you not have the whole thing get fixed? What an insane decision to make. Like, what are we doing? What surprised you about the game?
How despite a certain host claiming that it's unbelievably easy to outlevel everything, I have been underleveled in basically everything. And I know that the answer is go back to the hinterlands and do some quests. I don't want that to be the answer, so I refuse to let that be the answer, and instead, I'm gonna complain about the game, and I will stand by that complaint.
Crestwood should solve that for you, and I think that's the answer. We talked about that before the show a little bit, but I think Crestwood, you'll be okay in Crestwood. I don't think you should have to go back to the hinterlands. I don't believe you should have to go back to the hinterlands.
Dano, what surprised you?
The flavors and stories of the zones once you're outside the hinterlands is amazing. Like, I like the hinterlands. I've stated that, but honestly, it's like 2 or 3 zones that are smashed into one, and there's not really a coherent storyline, and it's just kind of a bit of a bummer. Now, zones like the Forbidden Oasis, the Western Approach, that's the Western Approach. That's where you want to go for the dragon, Western Approach. Approach, the Fallow Mire, and the Storm Coast, they all have really tight stories. They are interesting, coherent zones. They're much less like giant open spaces and kind of a lot more like, okay, you go to point A to point B to point C, and sometimes you go back, and that's okay. But it's not like, this huge area of like, okay, I need to look through this giant space to find where the mages are. Nothing is really hidden in the zones quite as much. So I'm just very surprised at the flavor and how fun the stories and how fun the zones are. And like, one thing about the quests in the game, I would encourage you not to think too much about the quests. Like, go to the zone you want to go to, and then like the quests within that zone, definitely think about that. But the quests that you're given outside, like the quests from Skyhold, the quests for companions, complete those as you are in zones. Don't like try to complete them as like standalone quests. I don't think they were designed that way, but like, it's definitely the way to play most games. And so like, I totally feel like why you're frustrated, but instead like just go to a zone. If there is a Varric quest there, bring Varric along, do the bits you can do, and then worry about the rest of it at a later time. That's kind of how I would approach that. So.
You want to buy some death sticks?
You don't want to sell me death sticks.
I don't want to sell you death sticks.
You want to go home and rethink your life.
I want to go home and rethink my life.
Storm Rage, sell the game to a friend.
Become a god. Become a knight enchanter. Dano, sell the game to a friend.
Forget the story, kill dragons. That's it for this week. Next week, we are getting bogged down in the hinterlands. Thank you so much for listening, and thanks to all our patrons for patronizing us. You can find links to our Discord, content information, and all other things that might be interesting in the description of this episode. And remember that Dragon Age Inquisition is a game, and games are supposed to be fun.
Yeah! Let's start an Inquisition, baby!
This is the end of this show. Everybody bye!
I'm glad you're having fun, though.
I am, yeah. It's kind of amazing how much the build guide changed my perspective on combat, where, like, a lot of the combat was, okay, I've got 2 spells that I know I'm going to respec and I'm going to not use anymore because they just don't deal enough damage to be relevant, and that kind of just felt bad. And then all of a sudden, I unlocked a slightly better staff, and I started using the spells that they were like, this spell is busted. And I was like, I trust you. And then I went from spells and attacks that did like 20, 30 damage to I had one of my spells will crit for like 1200 damage. And it's like, oh, that's more. That's a lot more, especially because dealing damage gets me more barrier and I think more mana. So like it's a lot of dumb fun, and I am here for it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've played the game without game guides and played it with game guides. And like, if you play the game and then just like choose a build that you think is interesting and skills that are interesting, you can play the game just fine and get through the game on hard mode, no problem, and even nightmare to a certain extent. But like playing through on like any sort of build guide you find on YouTube or on the internet, especially like the ones who like are really solid builds, will change how you play the game. Because like there are certain things like, yeah, this, if you do X, Y, and Z, you just essentially break the game. Like the game is, yeah, you're just gonna like, there is a skill with SERA. So if you want to melt dragons, like absolute melt dragons, SERA has a build where you can just like absolutely smoke them in like, we're talking like 30 seconds or less. Like it's pretty insane what you can do with like some of like the truly broken builds. We're an hour 45 minutes, so we're probably not going to do After Dark. I think we had a pretty good pre-dark again.
Surprise!
We had a pretty.
Dano and I talked for too long.
I honestly thought this was going to be a decently sized. I'm like, this week will be normal at least.
Why did you think that?
I don't know.
You've seen how much you've written here. You wrote so much, Dano.
It's like 20 pages.
Yeah.
But
I had the main quest, and I wrote about half as much as you did talking to friends. Of course this episode was going to go long.
Well, I mean, our patrons need to know what SERA thinks about the Inquisition. It's important.
You're absolutely right. I can't believe I missed that one.
All right. That's it for this week. We'll talk at you again next week.
Bye-bye.